All right, as you can see, we got the Ozark Trail Fast Flow right here. And I just want to say, I really appreciate Seth for putting that video out because he was able to explain this bike way better than I ever could. And he made some great points about both bikes, this one and the Polygon 6Q D6. Now, first of all, I want to say, I never compared this bike to the Polygon 6Q D6 because in my opinion, there was no comparison. And I was just being realistic about the situation. I would choose this bike over the D6 all day, but he made some great points about that bike. And there was one thing I wanted to mention about the kids saying the D6 felt better to them. I want to play devil's advocate. Those were kids, so they felt a lot better on the 27.5-inch wheel size over the 29. Plus, this is a heavier and bigger frame. So most adults, in my opinion, I think would feel better on this one than they would the D6 because of the 27.5-inch wheels and the smaller frame size. But he was right about how the bike rides, how it feels on trails, the flows, and all of that. This is much better in the chunk, and that bike is much better in the flow because I've had the opportunity to own a D6 for about 2 years. So I've ridden the D6, the Ozark Trail Fast Flow, the Polygon 6Q T6. So I've ridden all the bikes, and I can honestly say he was 100% accurate with things he said about each bike. And it's really refreshing seeing someone with the channel size of that magnitude and that much influence just being honest. A lot of people think I shill for Walmart. I'm not shilling at all. It's just me calling it how I see it and being honest with whoever's watching the video because I want to be able to deliver the best information possible for those trying to get into the sport without spending a ton of money, but still getting that value for the money that they do spend. Now, I gotta be honest, I'm at the point now when it comes to mountain bikes where I'ma just be honest regardless, coming from my perspective on how I look at mountain bikes and what I think is worth the money and what's not worth the money, and giving the best advice I can about the bikes. The thing with this Walmart bike shows how the bike industry, specifically the mountain bike industry, is all out of whack in my opinion. Just look at this. This is a capable beast of a mountain bike, and you got people mad and arguing over it because people can get a mountain bike like this at $898. And the best thing they can say is, oh, the parts are gonna fall apart, the bike is gonna fall apart. It's from Walmart, so it's gonna have to have all these repairs and stuff. And I think that's what's wrong with everything. It's really not that serious. People just wanna ride bikes and feel good about the purchase that they made. I forgot to mention something when I was doing this video. This is always an argument for people. They always say, why would you spend that much money on a bike and then put all those parts on there and the parts end up being more than the bike? And my argument to that is, that's the beauty of it. When you spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a bike, you start thinking of it like you just bought a car or something. This is not a car dealership. Like, people always talk about, oh, the value, it will hold its value. No normal person goes into buying a bike thinking about resale value. I never understood that. That's the beauty of buying a bike that's able to be upgraded at a low price, so you don't have to worry about spending a lot of money and then still upgrading it. So that's my thing. Nobody goes into this worrying about resale value when they're trying to get a budget bike. I've shifted my focus more towards the everyday rider. I want to get out into the community, interview people, interview riders, from expensive bikes to budget bikes. I want to talk to bike shop owners. I want to talk to a lot of people and get their input and just have them share their stories and really get out there and let them tell you how they're living their lives on the bike and sharing their experiences. I kind of want to get out of talking about the whole mountain bike thing because I just think it's just out of control at this point. It doesn't even make sense to me anymore. And it's people pulling from both sides instead of pulling together. And it's just something that I don't know if I want to be a part of anymore, because for people to have so much hate about this bike, it just shows me that it's more than just being about the bikes. People say they're about community and stuff like that, but I don't understand how people telling someone, hey, here's a great bike for a great price, then that's a bad thing. In my opinion, this bike just shows how out of tune the industry is. Because if you're telling me the best budget bike you can get is $1,500 to $1,600, in my opinion, I think that's ridiculous. And like I said, I've had Major League Baseball players tell me that make millions of dollars, they would not spend over $500 for a bike because they can't see themselves spending that much money on a bike. Now, if they knew more about it, I'm sure that opinion would change, but it just goes to show you, average normal people that look at bikes can't see themselves spending thousands of dollars on a bike. And honestly, the more I've written, the more I've become to appreciate really simple, cool looking bikes. And I think the industry needs to go back to that. While I think this is super cool, I love this bike for the price, it doesn't really impress me. The only thing that impresses me is what you get for the price. This impresses me. I just bought this bike for $300, $299. This impresses me. This is a cool bike. So it's not even that I just love this bike, this Ozark Trail Fast Flow. I just love to be able to see features that you can normally only get on $2,500 bikes. You can now get them on a $1,000 bike. And people have so much hate about this bike, but it's sold out every time it comes back out. They just got a few more in, and now they sold out already. So obviously people want the bike, and obviously people want bikes at a reasonable price. But I think the industry is just so out of touch, it's hard for them to see themselves selling something that's this capable, this feature packed at a reasonable price. So to sum everything up, I just wanted to just thank Seth for acknowledging that this bike is what it is. It's worth it, it's capable, and it's the best bike you could get for under $1,000. I don't love Walmart, I don't love this bike. I love what this bike offers. And to see somebody actually acknowledge that and not bias, not sugarcoating it or anything. This is what it is, and you gotta call a spade a spade. If this was a Trek, a Specialized, a Redline, or what, you name the brand, if it was that, I would be saying the same thing about this bike. But nobody has ever done that except this bike. Now, I don't know. I'm to the point where mountain bikes are they're just annoying at this point. It's like, it's the same thing over and over, and I don't know, nothing is cool anymore. And I don't even know. I don't even enjoy talking about it anymore, especially with all the hate and stuff. It's just not even worth my time at this point, because I'm trying to put out quality content for people, show people what they can get at a decent price. And if you don't like it, I don't get how you can just comment and stuff like that, which I don't care, it don't bother me, but I just don't see how you spend the time doing that. If you don't like it, it's a lot of other people talking about way more expensive bikes than me. So I don't understand why that has to be said, but I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep getting out in the community, talking to people, interviewing people, just trying to bring everybody together. And if I see bikes like this come out, whether it's from Walmart or Trek or Specialized or whoever, I'm gonna acknowledge it, or Redline, even Sierra Trading Post, I got a bike. So wherever the bike is, and it's a great deal, a great value, and it's a cool bike, and I think it's worth talking about, I'm gonna talk about it. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I don't even know if I'll still talk about as many mountain bikes as I normally do or whatever, but I want to shift my focus more to the everyday person who just wants to get out and enjoy life, enjoy riding bikes. They're not so caught up on specs and this and that. I was just the messenger, putting the message out there. Hey, here's a cool looking bike. that's super capable, that's under $1,000, and I really want you to see it. And people got upset about it. So I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, but like I said, I think the mountain bike community is just too much for me right now. I'd rather focus on people who just want to enjoy riding and enjoy what it brings to your life and to your mental state, and not just talk about specs and suspension and linkage all day. So that's all I wanted to talk about. And I wanted to thank Seth for acknowledging that, because now I know I wasn't crazy. I'm like, I know this bike. I'm looking at this bike and I'm like, it's just not about to fall apart like people say it is. Yeah, the derailleur broke on his bike, but I've seen people break XTRs and XT derailleurs, all that stuff. People break derailleurs all the time. So, I don't know. I'm confused. The mountain bike industry just got me all confused. None of it is making sense. So I want to shift my focus more to the everyday person. I also started uploading on my second channel. I think I found out what I want to focus on, and that's gyms. So value you get at the gym, motivating people to work out and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, make sure you check the link below and go subscribe to that channel as well. But like I said, I'm still gonna talk about bikes a lot, but if that channel could take off, I wanna start focusing more on that as well, because it'll just get me out of this whole mountain bike thing. I just think it's just gone way overboard, and I just can't even keep up at this point. I look at this bike and I say, hey, this is a cool, capable looking bike under $1,000. Let's go rip it. And I don't get how this is a problem. Maybe because it's Walmart, but instead of being mad at Walmart, be mad at the other companies for not doing this, because I'm sure they could have done it. So, or gotten close to it at least. I bet you one of those big companies could get a bike like this for $1,200 or $1,300, and they haven't even done that. Yeah, that's all I got to say, but make sure you stay tuned, because we got some cool stuff coming up, and I got some really interesting interviews that will be coming up as well that I think you might enjoy.